I could never share my partner. I could never be okay if my partner checks out other people in front of me. Me?
Now what if she goes and she messages other
That's it. For me, that's cheating.
Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. New show that I'm covering, Shahs of Sunset. We're gonna talk about in last Sunday's episode. I think it comes out on Sundays. I watch it on Mondays, so I think it comes out on Sundays. But in the most recent episode, Destiny and Mike had this explosive fight, and honestly, I really wanted to start covering this show on this channel because this show, I think it's kind of like a sleeper show. Like, I don't see it really like memed. I don't see it talked about a lot on Twitter or on Instagram or Facebook. So I was like, I know it might be just 5 of us, but if the 5 of us want to talk about Shahs, then the 5 of us shall talk. So I have watched Shouhed of Sunset from the beginning, from season 1, from when, and I'm embarrassed to say, I used to wish that Mike and Gigi would get together. What on earth? I kind of fell off for a couple seasons. So this is season 9. I think like seasons like 6 and 7, I kind of like intermittently watched. I wasn't like as dedicated, and it, funnily enough, it was when in those seasons that everything kind of went to shit. All these relationships started crumbling. Gigi and MJ are at each other's throats. Mike and Reza, they kind of go back and forth on if they're friends or if they're not. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, Reza was always like my favorite cast member. I love him and Adam together. Also Adam was a producer on American Horror Story, so I always thought that was really cool because that was one of my favorite TV shows. So, you know, I loved Reza. Didn't love Reza so much in season 8, and my opinion really started to change about him, and you guys will have to let me know down in the comments, did your opinions of Reza change? I always thought that Reza was like super brutally honest, and I thought he was super loyal. He kind of had this obviously back and forth thing going with Gigi. It's kind of weird to see them be besties now, but it's super sad to see the destruction of Reza and MJ's friendship. A 30-year genuine off-camera, was cultivated since they were children, friendship just go to complete shit. I think that that's really sad. One of the things that started really changing my mind about Reza was when they were at that pool party and Reza is like screaming at MJ. I mean, everyone's going back and forth. Everyone's yelling. But he is screaming out some like deep, dark personal information about MJ in front of dozens of people. I thought that was real shitty. And now it's hard to believe Reza when he says, oh, it's not me behind this or it's not me behind that, because it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm starting to second guess like his loyalties and his motivation, because it seems like nobody has any loyalties anymore on Shahs. It's kind of like a free-for-all, so you guys will have to let me know what you think. But in this most recent episode, we saw this explosive fight between Mike and Destiny at her Halloween party. So just take a look at the summation of that argument.
I want everyone to kind of sit where they don't normally.
I like that.
Sit. Paulina, I need you to move.
Nope.
Why are you making such a big deal about this?
This is my weekend with my girl. I just want to sit with my girl. Sorry.
I might be drunk.
Shahs? I don't like these things.
Is that a
I am a little.
Shush. Thank you for having us
Sorry.
over.
My better half is going to speak for us. I don't give a You guys are lame.
Mikey, that's pretty big coming from someone who's been pussy shitting all
time is gonna come to with them. Don't worry. Do I control you? Tell them.
Mike, she doesn't have to tell us anything. It's very obvious. I don't care. This is your life. But don't sit here and tell me that I'm a liar when I've been nothing but straight 100. You
I'm
did
not your
that.
son. You would never
You
afford me,
did that.
son.
I would never
Never
afford
afford me. You can't
If
live in
you were my
a
son,
bedroom
I would
house.
beat the out.
Hell, I'll buy and sell you.
You'll buy and sell me.
Get the out of here.
Get the out of my house.
I will. Let me grab my.
Get the out of my house.
I am.
Get the out of my house.
Don't touch
Get
me. When
out
she
of my
comes, I'll
house.
leave.
Get out of my house.
You're touching me. Don't touch 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 me. Shut the f*** Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Okay, so when I tell you that I have been a loyal, well, I can't say I've been a loyal watcher because I did fall off for a couple seasons, but I was like an OG Shahs of Sunset watcher, mostly because I found, this is gonna sound so sad, but I'm from Los Angeles. I found that they were kind of like aspirational as far as living in the lap of luxury. And what the hell do they do for money? Remember when all of them were like into real estate, and now Reza has like a hair care line. MJ does like lipsticks. I think Golnessa never had a job, right? But she started a cannabis line, and then now she's fighting with Shervin because then he started a cannabis line. I don't know. So anyways, I used to really just, like, oh man, I wish I could live where they live. Like I could afford to live where they lived. I wish I had like family money. That would be so awesome. They drove nice cars. They all had their Cartier bracelets. They all had super designer clothes. So when Mike, the reason why I'm segueing with, or using that to segue is, so Mike started dating Jessica. What was that, like season 2-ish, season 3-ish? Then, they had like a super intense relationship. Then the group went to Turkey. Oh, did Mike hook up with Gigi in Turkey, or he tried to? Which was always, now that I'm thinking back on it, that was always strange, because didn't Mike used to date Gigi's sister? I'm like pretty sure. So that's weird. Also, when I first started watching the show, gosh, what was it? Now like 8 or 9 years ago. So I was in like my mid 20s or early to mid 20s. And I was like, oh yeah, like people like me. These people are 40 and up, or approaching 40. I think Gigi is one of the youngest and she's 39. These people are much older than us, and they behave like teenagers. Grown ass adults are literally throwing drinks at each other. We'll get to some of the things Mike said at the Halloween party. So Mike, we saw his marriage with Jessica was an epic fail, a very beautiful, expensive wedding. Then she found out that he cheated on her, because that's Mike. And I'm gonna say, like, I think that Mike, over the course of this show, really comes off as like, he has some like playboy ways, but he's really like, oh, he's a family man and he wants to like start a family, have a family. He's gone into business with his brothers. He's super close with his parents. He's a really good guy at heart. That's what I truly believe. There is something a lot more sinister underlying with Mike. And I think that it's really playing out this season because Paulina is really inserting herself into the group. More so than Jessica did. Jessica I think she was like friendly with Reza. I know that she hangs out with Gigi now, which is, I mean, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. But I think really we didn't see this really with Jessica because she was always on the show as Mike's girlfriend, Mike's fiance, Mike's wife. Paulina seems to want to be on the show as her own independent cast member. Like, I see Paulina, especially in this last episode where she had that like girls' night with Destiny. We know that she sent text messages or screenshots of the texting scandal with Mike to like everybody in the friend group. And I just thought that was strange. Like, Gigi really called that out, but I just thought that was strange because it seems like she is putting her personal relationship business out there to garner favor or garner attention in the friend group. And I don't know really what to think about that. I don't know what to think about Paulina. So I guess we'll see what happens with their relationship. They were together last season. Mike says she's the one. I think he had proposed to Jessica by now if we're going by relationship timeline. So I don't know, I don't see this relationship lasting. According to Paulina, in this last episode, she divulges to Destiny that Mike doesn't consider these flirty text messages to be cheating, which I think if Paulina was doing that and Mike found out, it would not be like, oh, it's no big deal. I think it would be a very big deal if Paulina did what Mike was doing. It all seems right now that relationships in this group are being held together by like dental floss, by like the thinnest string, and that any one fight could trigger another fight between everyone. And I don't even know who's cool with who anymore. So Gigi's cool with Adam and Reza. She said at the end of the night she was cool, like she had Destiny's back. She actually was on her side, almost as if she's not usually on Destiny's side. But anyway, so what I found most disturbing actually happened at the end of the episode. I'm gonna play it for you right now, and it was Mike talking to Paulina when they got in the car to head home.
Please, drive off.
Don't say a word until we get home.
So he said, don't speak until we get home. To me, that means like, because then they'll be home, they won't be being filmed anymore, they won't have microphones on, so that whatever they talk about will have no witnesses. I'm not saying he like is physical or anything like that, but he appears to be very controlling to me. When Destiny wanted Paulina to sit by her at dinner and Mike said no, I'm sorry, but if my husband, I love sitting next to my husband, but I spend every day with him. And if we're out with a group of friends and I want to sit next to one of my friends so we can actually talk to each other versus like being on opposite sides of the table, and if he were to say, no, you're sitting next to me, I would say, no, I'm not. So I just thought that was like really, there is like a level of control there that I am not comfortable with. And Paulina, she seems to say all the right things when Mike is around, and then she's totally like, she has this moment where she goes into the bathroom and she's like really upset. Destiny follows her, someone else follows her, and she's really upset. Then she comes back at the same time where she's like, she will like hold Mike accountable, but she also, it's like only accountable to a certain level, and then at the end of the day, it's like he's the man and whatever he says goes. Like, she might assert that she wants to sit next to Destiny at dinner, but if he wants her to sit next to him, she's gonna sit next to him. I don't like that at all. Anyways, you guys, I'm so excited to be covering Shahs because I have, like you have seen in this video, I've been a fan since the beginning, and I think Destiny's a great addition to the cast. I love her. She's probably my favorite cast member now. Because everyone kind of it's completely different than the people they were in season 1. And I get that people grow and change over time, but boy, oh boy, these relationships, and some of these are like with Reza and MJ, are decades long relationships that are pretty vile. Like the things they're shooting back, like there was a restraining order against MJ's husband. All the things that they're saying to each other is pretty disgusting. So anyways, you guys, let me know what you think of this season of Shahs of Sunset. What are your guys' opinion of the evolution of these cast members and where they were season 1 versus now, their relationships with each other? Do you guys think that Mike largely gets like a pretty good edit? I feel like we didn't see some of the darker aspects of his relationship with Jessica, and it kind of seemed the way I remember. I'll have to go back and rewatch, but I kind of remember feeling like she was kind of a clout chaser. That's how they portrayed her to be. And I don't know, like she's an RN, she's a business owner. I think she has a clothing line. And I'm not sure that was necessarily the case, but I remember perceiving her that way. So did you guys get the same vibe? Anyways, let me know what you think. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.